Today on the podcast, we are joined by Michelle, who is the founder of the Happy Pelvis. Michelle is a peer health navigator and a pelvic pain advocate, and I am very excited to have her on the podcast today. In today's episode, we talk about Michelle's journey with endometriosis, interstitial cystitis, and lichen sclerosus, and how she turned her pain into advocacy. The ups and downs of dating, marriage, and intimacy while living with chronic pain. How safety, communication, and emotional honesty build real connection. The importance of self-care practices like breathwork, nervous system regulation, and rest. Why finding community and laughing about the hard stuff can be healing in itself, and so much more. I'm so excited for you to tune into this episode. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Pelvic Power Podcast. My name is Penny, and I am the host of this lovely space. I am a pelvic floor yoga teacher who teaches people with pelvic pain how to use movement, breathwork, and body awareness to ease and manage their pain while living a pleasurable life. In this space, we'll be talking about all things taboo because we love it, and how to support your lovely pelvis and your lovely self on this journey that you are on. I am very happy that you are here, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Pelvic Power Podcast. I'm very happy that you are here today. Today we have the lovely Michelle from the Happy Pelvis joining us. She's a dear friend of mine, and I'm very excited to have her on the podcast. Welcome, Michelle. How are you doing today?
Hi, Penny. I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be a guest on your podcast. I feel like I'm on a talk show right now. It's so professional with our mics. I love it. Hi,
It's so
everyone.
nice. It's from my couch to yours. And now it's like, yeah, couch talk. I think I was telling you that. I was like, oh, we're doing a couch talk.
Yeah, I love it. It feels like you're in my living room and we're just having a casual conversation.
Yeah, that's what you have between friends. Well, welcome. Today we're going to dive into pelvic pain, obviously, because that's why we're here. And we're going to dive into the different stages of dating, relationships with pelvic pain. So, how it's like living with pelvic pain, having relationships with other people. So, I'm very happy to have Michelle's insight today. I've just attended her wedding a couple weeks ago, and it was a lovely wedding. So, I'm very excited.
We were
Michelle is
so happy to have Penny a part of our wedding. She was like the dancing queen of the night. It was wonderful to have her there.
I had such a great time. Busting a move on dance floor was the best. I think a lot of the people at the wedding, I remember one guy because I try to get everyone to dance, like everyone. I was like, okay, let's go. One guy, he's like, oh no, not you again.
I
I
think I
was like,
know who that is
yeah,
specifically.
here I come again. It was hilarious, but it was a great time. We're gonna talk more about the wedding in a little bit. So first off, let's start out. You have been on the podcast before and you've spoken about your pain a little bit before. Well, quite a lot because it was quite extensive podcast episode and it's a really great podcast episode. Let me put that in the show notes which episode that is because I cannot remember the number of it.
That was a while ago, right?
That was a while ago. I
Yeah.
I think it was maybe like 3 years ago or something like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's been a while. But if you wouldn't mind giving us like a brief description of your pain, what you are living with, what you're struggling with every day.
Yeah. So I struggle with a few conditions that cause me chronic pelvic pain, like endometriosis, pelvic floor dysfunction, and interstitial cystitis, also known as bladder pain syndrome. So I deal with a lot of nerve pain due to the endometriosis. So it affects my bladder function, bladder sensations. Right now, I'm personally struggling with a lot of sciatic pain, and it's been progressively getting worse and cyclical. So that pain is something I have to manage daily, even outside of my cycle. And even going way back to my early teens, I was diagnosed without a biopsy with lichen sclerosus. And I was treated with clobetasol and things and other medications for anti-yeast. We can get into that after, but anyways, the clobetasol helped things, and I have had that managed since then. Yeah, I struggle with chronic pelvic pain, and I am the founder of the Happy Pelvis, which is a peer-led organization that helps guide patients or people living with chronic pelvic pain to the right specialist, to the right care, and gives them tools and resources to help them advocate in the doctor's office.
I love that. And we love your space, the Happy Pelvis. It's so welcoming. And also, Michelle, she did my rebranding of my own business. And I just love your designs within your own. And yeah, it's just such a welcoming space. And you're so knowledgeable in how to reach people for to get the information that they need. And I love that about you. You're doing so many great things for the community.
Thank you. Thank you. And a lot of that comes from my background in advertising and marketing. So before Happy Pelvis, I was working in the corporate world in a media marketing department. And a lot of that I took home with me, and I realized that I needed a creative outlet. And the Happy Pelvis sort of bloomed and grew from that need for me to be creative. So I really appreciate you saying that, because that's sort of my goal, is to design pieces that are informative and resourceful for the community.
Yeah, no, so if you haven't checked out the Happy Pelvis yet, definitely recommend doing so because she's fantastic. So thank you for sharing all of that with us today. So you recently got married. We're talking about that. How long have you been together with your now husband? When did you meet
Mhm.
him?
I met him in 2016, I believe. So when I was about 26 years old. So I would say before I met him, I had probably a decade of dating and dates and boyfriends and trying to navigate pelvic pain while trying to date and go through puberty and all of that. So yeah, it took a few to get through to Dylan, but when I met Dylan, there was just something different about him. I just felt safe. So
Yeah.
that's one thing we could talk about too.
Yay, that's lovely. I love that. So before you met Dylan and you were dating with pelvic pain, what did you find was your biggest hurdle, your biggest challenge with that when it comes to your pelvic pain and sharing that with other people?
Mhm. Where do I start? I guess my first experience of that was with my first boyfriend in high school. Is when, you're excited, you're alone in their basement, the parents aren't home, and things get a little heated, and you're doing things you've never done before. And as I was doing things I've never done before, such as him touching like my vulva, pain, like searing pain came, and I was confused and I didn't really understand. So I sort of took a step back and was like, no, 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 like, let me please you, right? I didn't want to get pleased because of the pain, and I couldn't understand why, and the doctors weren't giving me valid answers. And and that first relationship ended with being broken up with, because ultimately I didn't have sex with them. And that was because I was hesitant because of the pain. I felt dirty. I didn't There was just a lot of emotion, there. So that was my first experience of sort of let down by my body and my pain, knowing that I really like this person, but, well, like, I'm not gonna stop them, like, they're 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy. I don't even know how old he was, but I think it was 16, yeah. But it was, yeah, so that was my first experience, and then
That must
as
have been very challenging going through that. I know that many people can relate and just feeling those feelings about your body and yourself and just feeling ashamed and disgusted, even if you are not disgusting.
however, I didn't open up with the boyfriend at the time and
Ah,
saying that I was in pain.
mm.
I withdrew. I made excuses. I never explained that because I couldn't explain it for myself. I didn't know why I was using clobetasol, like why I was using antifungal creams with clobetasol. Like all these things that were happening. I didn't want anybody to go down there.
Mm,
Um, so it wasn't because they were like, oh no, you're in pain. I don't want to date you. It was them being a teenage boy, hormones, if you're not getting it from you, I need to try somewhere else, right? So that takes a beating on your confidence too, because you're like, well, they actually didn't really know the underlying reason why. But
yeah.
doesn't change anything. It is what it is, and I moved on and
So I think it's important that we mention that there are two different sides to the stories here and two different lessons. So first off, communicate your needs. Like it's not easy when you're that young, but also now when you're adults, I know that many people have a hard time communicating what they're going through, and especially if you're not feeling safe with that person. We're getting to that too because Michelle met Dylan. But also if someone breaks up with you because you have pelvic pain, I know that people have gone through that too. We do not accept that. We do not accept people like that. So there's two different lessons to be learned from what Michelle is sharing right now. So thank you for
exactly.
sharing that, Michelle. Yeah.
Thank you. No, no problem. It's taken me a while to open up about it and work through it, but looking back, it's brought me to where it is today. Like, well, it's not even like I did go through other relationships where I pushed through, and I'm sure you can relate to that too, is
Mhm.
you do it because you feel that you need to. It's you gotta do it, and it wasn't making my body feel safe, and my nervous system just never settled, like, from boyfriend to boyfriend. I always thought, "Oh, maybe the next guy will help and I'll relax, and maybe, like, I won't have what they're saying because I got diagnosed in my teens with vaginismus, vestibulodynia, all of those V's,
All the
and
beats that I barely know how to say.
yeah. And, like, even, like, being a teen, like, just bringing it back to the lichen sclerosus. So, they told me I had lichen sclerosus and said that it is a skin condition, and they said it's autoimmune. Your mom has lupus. It makes sense that you would have this, and it affects the vulva and the opening of the vagina. And at that point, it was probably like, hold on, 89, 2005, 2006, and Google. So I'm on like the family computer searching lichen sclerosus. And at this time on the internet, everything was very scary. And it pretty much told me at 15 that my vaginal canal was going to close. So I
Yeah.
had this ingrained in my head, which was not true. But it's because I found it on the internet and I was 15, 16 years old. And as I dated, as the years went on, I was sort of like trying to prove to myself, like, no, it's not going to close. Like, I can do this every time. Like, the vaginismus isn't going to win. Um, and then I hit 28. Um, I was in a few bad relationships before Dylan, but at 28, my health took a turn, and that was probably 2 years into dating Dylan. And he was fully aware. Like at this point, after 25, I said every individual I date needs to know what's going on with me because I can't hide it anymore. So I explained it to him. And at that point, like we were 2 years in, and I was learning about my body as we were learning about each other. So, like, he was
Mm.
learning as I was learning. And my health took a really bad turn in 2018. So I was 28 at the time. And I had to leave my role as a designer on a marketing team in Toronto, and that hit me so hard. And my like I couldn't sit at my desk. The pain I felt in my vulva, the burning in my sits bones, the burning in my urethra. I was in agony. So I took it upon myself to begin to advocate because I was like, enough is enough. I've seen naturopaths. I've seen all these other doctors. I need answers. So then I went online in 2018. So this was probably 10, 15 years after the lichen sclerosus Google, and that's where I found a lot of answers and help that wasn't so scary, and help that was within reach within the Toronto area and specialists I needed to see. And I found a specialist in endometriosis, excision surgery. I've had two surgeries since dating Dylan, so he's seen me at my absolute lowest. He's he's seen me crying in the bathtub, like just feeling like there's no options, but he stuck around and supported me. I also have a great family that supports me as well with all my health obstacles. But when it comes to dating, Dylan, like the first time I met him, there was this energy. I don't know how to describe it, but I felt comfortable. And he's Dylan at the wedding, he was very outgoing, and you saw the side of Dylan that like I everybody loves, and but he also has this other side that I love so much, that he is introverted and very to himself and very quiet. And I come up from a very loud family. I don't know if you noticed it at the wedding. And Dylan is just he is the calm in the storm that I need when my world is falling apart. And he has never, ever made me feel guilty for me saying, no, 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 I can't be intimate right now, or no, 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 like let's stop, right? Or let's try this position, or like there's no fear of him leaving. Like there was, yeah, like with Dylan, like I wanted to marry him like the first few years. Like I was always bringing up like marriage, like, oh, engagement, this and that. But like the time is funny. Everybody has their own journey, and their own timeline. And I had to respect Dylan's timeline too as a partner. He wanted to be stable because of my health. I'm not currently working full time, so I don't have like a continuous steady income that he has, but he wanted to ensure that we were able to like we are able to have a good foundation before we took that next step, because that is what he needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so happy I got to that point, because just that time, like we grew so much. Like if we were to have gotten married in the first few years, would have that would that have made it even more difficult the first few years of marriage? But I think of dating and growing as a partners together during that time really made a difference. Um, and not saying everybody needs to get married. That's just something that was important to myself, to us. And it's not always the end result. Sometimes you just need a great partner beside you. Be it a friend, it doesn't even have to be an intimate partner, but somebody who you can rely on and who you can talk to. Like Penny here, we were talking, like it's not like we've hung out a million times or we hang out every week. Like we have this connection, and I know if I ever need to have this conversation with Penny, or like a deep conversation, I know she's there. So having these relationships and having a support system when you live with pelvic pain, I think is so important. And that's why I feel what Happy Pelvis, what well-being with Penny, what we're doing for the pelvic pain community, I think is really important, important work. And I know there we have hard days, just like people listening. But I think we should also be proud that we're here talking about it, and we've gotten to this point that we're comfortable enough to be open about it.
It's so true because like I'm single and I am getting a procedure done and I called my best friend and I asked her to help me out because I have to get put under. I can't drive myself there. I can't be driving myself home. And I know it's going to be a waiting period. And I called her. And as I asked her, I started crying. As I asked her if she could help me out, she's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, it's so like it's a vulnerable thing to ask of someone, but it's so important to have that support system. And she's like, of course I'm gonna be there for you. Like, I'm like,
Right.
okay, but maybe you can drive me there. I can get another friend to come and pick me up. She's like, no, I'm gonna stay there and wait for you. And it's like, it means the world to someone once you open up and you feel like you have that support, right? So it
That means
doesn't
a
have
lot.
to, yeah, it doesn't have to be romantically, but just like having those people around you where you feel like you can lean into and trust them, even though it might feel really challenging. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I love Amanda. I met her
Yeah.
at the wedding. She came with Penny. She is such a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Amanda's great. And she has
Yeah,
the
she
most
too.
beautiful daughters. Oh my God, your goddaughters. What are their names?
Eden and Isla.
Eden and Isla. Beautiful
Yeah.
names too. How was
Yeah, no, that's so
Halloween?
sweet. Oh, it was great. It was so lovely. Eden was dressed as a cow. She's obsessed with cows, and Isla was dressed as a witchy cat. She wanted to be a hybrid, and I was like, okay, you go for it because she loves cats. So yeah, it was really fun. It was a
Oh,
good time. But no, she's a great friend. But it's just it can be really hard to take that step to actually finding that safety in someone, but also it's worth it. And if that person's not going to be there for you, at least you spoke your truth and you shared about you, and that's going to clear up the energy that's going on within you so you don't feel blocked if you're staying in a relationship or something where you can't talk about what you're going through.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
yeah, there were a few of those relationships where I just could
Yeah.
not open up. And I think that took a toll on my nervous system.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that takes time to heal too. Like that could take years. So it's so important to do the work that you're doing too. So I'm
Yeah.
loving that you guys found each other and you found happiness within each other. But how did you actually meet?
Through Tinder.
See,
And it's
there's hope out
funny.
there.
It's funny because he's not actually from the Toronto area. He grew up north of just south of Barrie and Alliston, but he was working in the city and staying at his uncle's house, which was within the perimeter that I was swiping.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we were able to match. And yeah, it's been great. His uncle and aunt still that he was staying with, they still live in Etobicoke, and we go there a lot. Anyways, yeah, so then we met on Tinder and then we went bowling. And bowling, because that is the only sport I am good at. I am the least athletic person, and that comes down to my health. Like, I don't know if you have done a lot of research in this, Penny, yet, but EDS, have you heard about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of reading on it, but definitely, yeah.
So I believe, and some of my doctors believe that I do have that, but I have not done the genetic testing. But it makes a complete sense why I would always get hurt playing sports and
Would you
everything.
explain what that is to the listeners, the people that are watching?
Yes, so Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a genetic condition where you have like you're a little bit more flexible on the outside and on the inside too. So your tissues, like your tendons, your ligaments, your joints, they're a little bit more lax. Certain people, there's different categories of EDS, but like for example, I don't know if you can see, but like just like double
Yeah.
jointed in my fingers. So playing basketball, always getting injuries. um, yeah, so a lot of my joints are hypermobile, and I think that causes also contributes to pelvic pain.
Hmm.
Um,
A lot of
and
people with pelvic pain has that. Yeah.
yes, and it seems to be happens a lot of people who have autoimmune conditions or other chronic illnesses. It seems to be like a connecting factor. So there's more and more research being done, and it's being taken more seriously. Whereas in the past, it's like, oh, you're just more flexible, you're double jointed. But no, there's a lot of health repercussions of that. And it explains a lot. Like I read something the other day, like I don't know if any of your listeners or you can relate if you are hypermobile, but like being a kid and my mom combing my hair at the
Hmm.
crown of my head, it would hurt so much. And I would like have to put my hands over my eyes. My eyes, like I wouldn't be crying, but my tears would be coming out of my eyes because of the pain I felt. And I would be like, no, 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 stop, stop. And then I would have to try to do it myself. I just learned this past week that that is a sign of being hypermobile. And I guess
Oh.
as I'm growing, like all my tendons, everything's all my connective tissues on my body are growing. I was just more sensitive growing up.
Mm.
And that's what
That's
I
so interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah.
and I would always be called like the sensitive one. And that's another thing that I have to work on. I'm still working on is I was always told I was sensitive. Oh, you're so
Mm.
sensitive and this and that.
Is
And
was it physically or emotionally or both?
both,
Yeah.
both. It was a little bit of both. I'm a Cancer, so I'm a little emotional.
It's funny how people use that as like, I don't know if they're
Uh,
trying to like diminish your
insult.
insult.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's like to me that's a superpower. You're sensitive. You can feel other people's emotions or whatever that may be, but it's just like, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a superpower.
Exactly. You're like you're tuned at a different vibe or a different
Hmm.
layer, right? Like and that's another thing is I pick up like I go into a room and I can pick up the energy really easily. And
Same.
that it all makes sense now. I'm a highly sensitive individual because I've lived with chronic pain most of my life, and calming down my nervous system is just an ongoing an ongoing obstacle, but it's just something I'm currently working on. And that's why I'm so happy to be doing your program this month, because after the wedding and all that planning, I just feel very wound up. Like I said, my period this month is just horrible. So
Yeah.
I'm determined to go to your class twice a week, if not once a week. And yesterday's class was really helpful despite the knee. Like it was really, really, really helpful.
Yay. That
So
makes me so happy to hear. And it's so nice that you're doing this little challenge for yourself. If you haven't seen that on Instagram, on Michelle's Instagram, the Happy Pelvis, she does a little challenge for herself this month that she's attending the classes. And it makes me so happy
yeah.
because it's always so
Uh,
nice to see you in class too.
It's nice because I haven't been in the class. Like I do a lot of the videos after, like the
Hmm.
recordings within your program. So being there live and like seeing the people, the community that are still there, it's amazing to see like the relationships that you and us like have built within that
Yeah.
space.
I
So
love that.
thanks, Penny.
Oh, thank you. No, I love it. I love it. Definitely. So when, okay, so you were dating Dylan and then you decided to get married. And I know that right now you're doing this challenge for yourself to regulate your nervous system and just care for you and take after you or look after you. And what are some things that you were doing for yourself because you live with so much pelvic pain? What were some things that you were doing for yourself leading up to the wedding that kind of helped you because that could be a stressful time, even if it's a wedding or you're going through something because I know that people have family coming over, they're feeling stressed about it. What are some things that you did for yourself?
I really stayed in tune with my breath. So I get wound up very easily, especially around family. So, like the month leading
Mhm.
up to the wedding, there was a lot of family, a lot of discussions, just right? So, I always went back to my breath and just deep breathing, releasing my pelvic floor and like releasing my tailbone. That's
Yay.
something that I always turn to. Sometimes I have to like step aside, and if that's in the bathroom or the bedroom or wherever, but I just need a moment. And like my family has known that too. Like now they respect that and they're like, okay, she needs a moment just to calm down, which is great. Another thing was every other night, and I wouldn't say every night, I would take a bath, and by doing that, I would do deep breathing again, going back, locking back to my breath.
Breath is so important. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm like obsessed right now. This sounds so stupid, but mandarins, like just eating like whole foods, like just nutrient, like just juicy, good foods, like knowing that like vitamin C, that's what I'm trying to say, like trying to boost my immune system when I'm in a higher stressful state.
Mm,
Um, I take oil of oregano. That's something I try to do to
I love
combat
that.
getting sick because I have lupus as well, so I have a lower immune system that doesn't like to cooperate. Um, what else did I do?
I just really want to go and get mandarins now because it sounds so juicy. I haven't
It's
had one
almost
in
the best
forever.
time of year.
I know. I
Christmas
love
is
this time of year. Yeah.
the best mandarins. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Also, Dylan and I just like taking time to ourselves. That
Mm-hmm.
was important because there was just so much craziness. And when I say like ourselves, we'll just like go for a walk after dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's
That's so nice.
yeah.
I love that. I love that for you. Yeah, and of course the wedding was beautiful. Michelle. So I've never met Dylan before the wedding. This was the first time I met him, and I could see him straight away when I walked in. And I was like, I don't know if I should go up and say hi, but there were so many people around him, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't the space for that. I was just surprised that I got a +1. I was like, oh my God, I already won the lottery. No, but so I'm sitting down, and then I realized I'm like, I'm gonna be right in like she's gonna see me. One of the first people that she's gonna
Oh
see is
my
me
gosh, you
when she
were.
walks in. Because it was kind of like you walked in and then you had to turn a right to go down the aisle, and I was sitting right at that corner. And when she walked out, I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot stop crying."
That your face
Yeah.
was the first thing I saw, and I was like, nope, look away. I had to like look up to the sky. I was like, Penny.
So I was like, "Don't look at me. I'm crying. You're gonna start crying." And I just saw that you were like, "Okay, I can't
Oh.
look at Penny."
That was like such an emotional moment because like oh, all of the music, like I chose like songs that were meaningful to Dylan and I, and also like that just meaningful that like just memories that would both of us have.
Mhm.
So that song that I went down the aisle to, like the night before I was listening to it, I was bawling. So it
What
was
song
just,
was it again? Can you tell the listeners?
oh, that's a good question. Forest Black, that is the band, and If You Love Her or something
Oh,
like that.
it was beautiful. Now you can listen to that song, everyone. It was so good.
It's yeah, it was really good. And then of course, like we had to have some Vance Joy play during our signing, and
Hmm.
then some Mumford and Sons. Anyways, the music, I got a lot of good reviews from my friends are like the music was great, and I was like, thank
Oh,
you. I
yeah.
put a lot of effort into that because like music to me, like growing up, there's always like a memory attached to a song, and I just wanted to bring that out, and I think it was successful. Like I remember um I didn't have my phone, but my phone was with one of my friends and bridesmaids, Kaylee, and she's like, "Your phone keeps going off. It's Penny."
I just
And
kept sending you messages throughout the night
I love it.
of
And then
like
I was just
things that
like,
I thought of. Yeah.
what one of the that she's like opens it, and then it was like, "Of course you would play Dashboard Confessional at your wedding."
Of course you would. I was in the washroom and I was like, is she serious right now? I'm like, I'm obsessed with the song because all I can think about is One Tree Hill. I'm like, oh,
Uh,
I love it.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
where I began to love that song is One Tree Hill.
Now I have to rewatch that TV show. Yeah, no, it was so good. I had so many comments throughout the wedding, and also she had like really good products in the washroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, put out that period brand, Joni.
Jody, yeah, I put out
Yeah,
some tampons, some pads. I put
yeah.
out, yeah, some gum, all the good
It was
stuff you might
great.
need.
I love it. No, and I was just like, oh, she was so mindful of the branding. And then also the gift for the guest was that they donated to, do you want to say what you
Yeah.
donated the money to?
So in lieu of like a little, sometimes you'll get like matches or a little thing of mints, right? We thought instead of doing something like that, that we know sometimes sort of gets pushed aside or forgotten at the table, we thought we wanted to donate to organizations that were close to our hearts. So endometriosis events, which Tammy and Leah were at your table.
Mhm.
And so I've done a lot of collaboration with them with events to raise awareness, and then Lupus Canada as well. So we donated to both of those organizations, yeah, in lieu of little goodies for the guests.
I love that. I'm like getting emotional over here throughout this episode. Um, no,
I
I love
also
that.
I'm staring at the tree that everybody signed to right now.
Yeah,
Oh, Tay.
let's
Oh.
say I did not sign that tree.
Oh, oh no, you didn't? There was
No.
a few people that didn't that I realized that weren't, yeah, unfortunately. But overall,
Um,
most people did. Oh, Penny, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. Oops.
Yeah. I forgot because, we got there and it was busy and we're like, we're just gonna sign the tree later. Wait, did
You
I
were
sign
too
the
busy
tree?
dancing.
I
That's
was too
that's
busy
why.
dancing. I had a great time. But yeah, no, I don't think I signed the tree. I'm like, did I sign the tree? Did Amanda drag me to sign the tree? I cannot remember. Let me know if you find my name on there because
Yeah,
also
I'm gonna take another look. Yeah.
you
I'm
sent
always
me a
finding new names.
you sent me a picture of that little ballot that we had to fill out with the questions and you're like, how did you misspell your name? I spelled it with one N. Peny. Like, what the fuck?
It was
That
in
was
her.
the dancing and the wine. So I was like, I was in a hurry. I just wanted to get everything right. Did I win? Who won?
I'm still tallying. I'm halfway through them, so
Okay.
we're getting there.
Did you open all the cards?
Yes, I did. And yours made me cry. Oh my God, Penny. You know what I want to do? Like I saw this thing where you can like send away all your cards and then they like photocopy them and they put it in like a book. So like you can
Yeah.
like open it and read it. I think I want to do that. But
Did
yes,
you did you like the tattoo
the
drawing?
tattoo. Yes.
Yeah,
I
that was a
love
good one.
that. Guys, I'm a tattoo artist. Did you know? Penny has
Yeah.
a tattoo on her body that I designed.
Yeah, it's my logo or well, not my logo, but it's a part of my logo and Michelle designed it, so I tattooed it onto my body because I love it so much. It's so funny because I never thought about that symbol and then when you created the brand and then I started diving more into it and I was like, this is so me. Michelle knows me so well. So I tattooed it onto my body. So when I was writing your card, I was like, oh, I always feel like the one page is always blank. I'm like, it's so boring. So I drew like a picture of her and Dylan, but it was such a
Yes.
horrible picture. And Amanda's doing my hair at the same time. She's like, you were really going for it. I thought you were joking. Like, do you even know me? Of course I'll go for it.
Those are the best cards. I love the effort. I love the
Yeah,
effort.
I know. I'm like, I don't want it to be boring.
Oh,
I want it
thank
to be
you.
funny.
Thank you so much for the gift and for coming, being a part of the day. Like it was really important to me to
It was
have you
lovely.
there and have the Happy Pelvis family there as well. So,
Yeah, that's the one thing about Michelle is that she's so like open about what she does, and I saw that throughout the wedding too. Like she had a happy pelvis table, like the Instagram table, and we just like got together, and
they
then
were
you
the rowdiest table, by the
yeah.
way.
Yeah, we are pretty rowdy, but I no, it was just so nice, and you were talking about the happy pelvis in your speech, and it makes me so happy and proud to call you my friend.
Oh, thanks, Penny. I love you so much.
Now I'm getting emotional again. Okay, I feel like we lost the track there that we were going on, but is there anything else that you would like to share with the listeners about dating with pelvic pain? If you feel like I often get messages people being scared about dating with pelvic pain or being scared to tell their partner how to talk to their partner.
Mm.
Do you have anything that you would like to put in there?
If you have trouble vocalizing it, write it down.
Mm, that's a good one.
Sometimes it might be a little bit more difficult to vocalize it, especially in the moment. But writing it down and even just reading it instead of just talking to the person helped. It's a tool that I use. Um, Another thing is just respecting your boundaries as well. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Respect your body and your limitations, because at the end of the
We're talking
day,
about like sex now, being intimate with someone. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, that's what I would add there.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, it's so important to yeah, talk about what you're going through, how you're feeling, because also if you put, I've said this before on the podcast, but if you have thoughts about someone that you're dating that they're going to react a certain way or that they're going to leave you, you're putting your feelings and your insecurities onto that person. And that's not really fair to them either. You have to give them the chance to actually be open to receiving it, to listen, to give you that safe space that you might need. So it's a
Right,
moment of courage, right? Being able to talk about what you're going through.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Definitely. No, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on the podcast and sharing. It's always lovely having you. And we'll probably see you more times in the future because we always have the best little chats.
We have so much to talk about, so
Yeah, I know.
much.
I know we do. But until next time, thank you for joining, everyone. And we will see you again, or I will see you again next week. Take care of your lovely body. Bye. Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Penny.